Hey creatives, it's time to finish off the AI storytelling series with some background music for our video. We're going to create a custom AI-generated song in just seconds, and then I'll show you how to add that song to CapCut and time it just right for maximum emotional impact. I've already created dozens of songs for my kid stories. Just look at this playlist. And the best part is, I've made all of these songs for free. I create my music with Suno. There'll be a link in the description so you can get started. All you have to do is come over here to the Create tab. I've got the custom toggle activated, but we don't need all this. So I'll turn that off, and then I'm gonna come over here and toggle this instrumental button on. This means that there will be just music, no lyrics, as lyrics would sound chaotic combined with narration. Now all I have to do is describe the song I want to make. My prompt is a dreamy fantasy song with mystical elements that transforms to a challenging tone and ends triumphantly. Now, if you have a specific genre in mind, you can add that here too. I do that sometimes. But for most of my background music, I've found that describing the mood gets me more of what I'm looking for my videos. I hit create and you can see the magic starting to happen. You always get 2 songs to choose from, and you can start listening as soon as the first few seconds are ready. Let's check out the first one. This is not really what I was going for. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm just not a fan. Let's give the second one a listen. Yeah, I think this could work. I'm gonna listen through to see if it hits all the emotions I'm going for. If you want to skip ahead to the timestamp on the screen, you can dive right into the editing process. Okay, I'm gonna download this song and give it a try. Wasn't that so easy? It took us longer to listen to the songs than it took us to create them. There's a lot more that you can do with Suno, and this is all you need if you want to keep things simple. But if you want a more in-depth tutorial of this AI music maker, check out this video right up here. I teach you how to create custom lyrics for your songs in a snap, and even how you can implement your own singing and custom sounds if you want to. Full disclosure, that video is how I made a custom manifestation playlist to help me live the life of my dreams. But even if that's a bit too woo-woo for you, you can apply what I teach in that video to any kind of song you want to create. Okay, that's it for the AI portion of this video. But don't go anywhere just yet, because how you use your music in your story is just as important as choosing the right song. So now I'm going to show you how to add your song to CapCut and do some easy edits that will make your video as engaging as possible. If you've never used CapCut before, definitely give it a go. You can use all of the features I'm going to show you next for free. I used CapCut for free for several months before I decided to upgrade to access the pro-level features. There's a link in the description for you. We've already got the images, narration, and captions set up in this CapCut project. The music is the very last step. I'm just going to drag my song into the import panel and click the little plus button to add it to my project. I'm going to play this tutorial for you in real time so you can hear the narration and music as I work. I'll chime in whenever I've got a tip or trick to share. The first thing I always do is normalize the audio by checking this box here, and then I lower the overall volume. Normalizing helps to make the loudest parts of the audio quieter, and the quietest parts louder. The settings I use to adjust the volume depends on the song. I just want to make sure I can hear the narration clearly. It's called background music, not foreground music. Then I'll just listen to how the music flows with the narration. Once there was a king with 3 sons. 2 were smart, but 1 you'd call dumb. Dumbling, the youngest, didn't talk much. His brothers always teased him a bunch. The king grew old and said, "Let's see. He who brings the best carpet will rule after me." He blew 3 feathers into the air. "Follow them, boys, if you dare." 1 flew west and 1 flew east, but Dumbling's feather dropped to his feet. His brothers laughed. East. 1 flew west and 1 flew east. Okay, I want the music to pick up the pace here, so I'm gonna drag it a bit to the left. I don't mind if the music starts in my title screen. It actually gives me a few seconds of wiggle room to get the music's pacing to go along with the text. Let's see how that sounds. Follow them, boys, if you dare. Follow them, boys, if you dare. If you dare. 1 flew west and 1 flew east, but Dumbling's feather dropped to his feet. His brothers laughed and ran away, but Dumbling stayed, without dismay. He saw a trap door, right near the spot, lifted it up and down he shot. At the bottom he knocked and heard, "Let's help this human, that's the word." Toads inside, both big and small, asked him, "What do you need at all?" "A splendid carpet," Dumbling said. They gave him one in gold and red. His brothers returned with scraps. So plain, Dumbling's fine carpet made them complain. The king declared, "The youngest has won." But the others cried, "No, we're not done." "Bring me the best ring," the king then said, and once more threw feathers up over his head. East and west his brothers would go. Again, Dumbling's feather dropped straight down below. Down he went and asked the toad, "Have you a ring to bring back up the road?" Out came a box, inside a ring, more beautiful than anything. His brothers grabbed 2 rusty things, iron rings with not much bling. But Dumbling's ring made Dad decide, "He wins again, it's hard to hide." Still, the brothers weren't impressed. One more task. This part is still a bit too loud, so I'm gonna lower the volume a bit more. "Bring her to me, then we'll see who'll take over for me." Dumbling went back to his friendly toad, asked for help in her humble abode. The toad gave him a turnip and mice, but Dumbling wasn't sure that was so nice. "Just add 1 toad," she said with glee. "Then watch what happens, wait and see." He put the toad inside, and poof! Out came a lady. She was the proof. Turnip to carriage, mice to horse. They rode to the king with no remorse. The brothers, meanwhile, "Have you a ring?" "Iron ring." But Dumbling's ring made Dad decide, Okay, so I'm gonna split the music track right here by hitting Command and B, because I think it needs a little more oomph for the king's excitement and the next part of the challenge. This is the third and final challenge that the king asks his sons to compete in, so I think there needs to be a bit more drama here. I'm listening back to hear where the music has more excitement. Out came a box, inside a ring, more beautiful than anything. His brothers grabbed two rusty things, iron rings with not much bling, but Dummeling's ring made Dad there. One flew. I'm gonna make this first clip fade out by clicking and dragging down here on this little dot above the sound wave. You can also adjust the fade up here in this slider if you want more control. The longer you drag it out, the more gradual the music fades. The shorter you drag this triangle, the faster the music fades out. I'm going for a gradual fade than anything. His brothers grabbed two rusty things, iron rings with not much bling, but Dummeling's ring made Dad decide, he wins again. It's hard to hide. Still, the brothers weren't impressed. One more task, they did suggest. Turnip to carriage, mice to horse. So at first I thought I wanted to hear the song from the beginning again here, but it wasn't really working out for me. You can listen to judge for yourself, or you can skip ahead to the timestamp on the screen if you want to see what editing choice I finally decided on. The brothers weren't impressed. One more task. One toad, she said with glee. Proof. Out came a lady. She was the proof. Fair and true. Now Dummelings dropped the dumb, you see. I'm not a professional sound designer, but I do know that a bit of silence can focus the viewer. So when the music drops off, the viewer will pay more attention to what's happening next. But Dummeling's ring made Dad decide, he wins again. It's hard to hide. Still, the brothers weren't impressed. One more she said with glee. Then watch what happens. Wait and see. He put the toad inside, and poof! Out came a lady. She was the proof. Turnip to carriage, mice to horse. Right where I cut the song is where the music picks up again, and that section was coming in too soon. Inside a ring. I wanted to start when the king gets excited a few seconds later, so I simply dragged the second half of this song to start here. Dummeling's ring made Dad decide, he wins again. But Dummeling's ring made Dad decide, he wins again. It's hard to But Dummeling's ring made Dad decide, he wins again. It's hard to hide. Dummeling's ring made Dad decide, he wins again. It's hard to hide. Still, the brothers weren't impressed. One more task, they did suggest. The best woman, bring her to me. Then we'll see who'll take over for me. Dummling went back to his friendly toad, asked for help in her humble abode. The toad gave him a turnip and mice, but Dummling wasn't sure that was so nice. Just add one toad, she said with glee. Then watch what happens. Wait and see. He put the toad inside, But now this part, where Dummling rides back into the palace courtyard with his beautiful maiden, is where I want to hear the excitement pick up again. So I'm gonna cut the music again right before that happens.
Just add one toad, she said with glee. Then watch what happens. Wait and see. She said with glee.
Again, I'm going to make the music fade out. I like the way it sounded when the king got excited in that second section of the song, so I'm just going to keep it simple and repeat it here.
With glee. Then watch what happens. Wait and see.
This third section is just a copy of the previous music clip. You can select any clip in any track and hit Command and C to copy, and Command and V to paste. That's what I did to create this third track here. I'll drag it under the scene with the carriage, and now I'm just about done. Let's hear how that sounds.
She was the proof. Turnip to carriage, mice to... Out came a lady. She was the proof. Turnip to carriage, mice to horse. They rode to the king with no remorse. The brothers, meanwhile, brought a couple duds, some peasant ladies covered in mud. The king said, "Dummling, you've won it all." But the brothers cried, "Test them first, before you make the call." A hoop was hung as the final test, to see which lady could jump through best. The peasant women set their sights, but they couldn't jump high at all, try as they might. Dumbling's maiden jumped into the air. She leapt right through without a care. The king said, "Son, the crown's for you." And so he won, fair and true. Now Dumbling's dropped the dumb, you see, and goes by Ling, the king to be. King Ling will rule without a doubt, and his brothers, they still pout.
Now I'll cut the song here where the video ends, and I'll add just one more fade, dragging all the way out to the maximum 10 seconds for a gradual fade. That's it, all done. Now I've just got to head up here and export the final video. If this is the first time you're tuning into my AI storytelling series, make sure you check out this playlist right here to watch the entire process from start to finish. That's where you can learn every single step I took to create Dumbling's story from scratch.